So we have a lot of tools to work on the nervous system, as in soothing, strengthening, herbs, diet, removing stress. We have all those things. But there's something another factor that if we don't change that factor, the best we can do with all of that soothing and strengthening and resting is we can strengthen the nervous system to adapt, to be more adaptable. But it's still going to get triggered. So before we go into that a bit more, let's take a moment to drop. So let's close the eyes a moment. And noticing all that is here in your body, in your breath. And noticing how this body is a sensation. A sensation in your experience. here. And how every sensation changes into something else. Noticing what the system, this body, mind system, nervous system, is soothed by. The softness. And how every moment can be a reason for calm or activation. Every moment. Who are you in all of this? When there is activation, who are you? When there is calm, who are you? Perhaps the behaviors change. And who are you? Do you define yourself as your behavior when there is activation? Or when there is calm? Allowing your whole system to drink in the magical sounds arising out of silence. Let your whole system be completely receptive to the pouring in of the song arising out of silence. Now, in the same moment, I have a mosquito searching every part of my body for a place where there is no protection. It wants to suck my blood. And I can feel his intention. That doesn't allow the system to completely go into a sweet depth of relaxation. So this body is moved to go reach for a spray, and you just continue letting go. Okay. So let's slowly and gently begin to bring our attention back into the room where you sit. And in your own sweet way, prepare to come into this meeting. I'd love to be able to see you all on the screen, so I'm going to give it one more shot. See if that can happen. It looks like I'm about to come in. It's definitely slow. This can happen. Obviously. I'm just trying to come in. It's taking too long. So I welcome you to this this meeting, retraining the nervous system. Yeah. So welcome and good evening. There's no mistake in this playing out for this subject, especially. I couldn't have planned it myself. So yeah, as I was saying before, we have now that it's like it's, people never used to know how to work with the nervous system, how to move it from sympathetic to parasympathetic, how to work. There's a lot of information out now, how to work with the vagus nerve. Lots of tools, lots of practices, lots of shaking, soothing, massage, essential oils, dancing, all the things that help. How many of you, I can't see you, so you can't raise your hand that I can see, but how many of you work with all of that? How many of you integrate all of that into your daily life?
There's food, Ashley, get the bag.
Sorry, what was that? What was that?
I think someone's mic just went on by accident.
Okay. Yeah, how many of you work with that? You know, how many of you integrate into your daily life a way of living where you are constantly helping the nervous system go into parasympathetic for a good part of your day? How many of you are dedicated to soothe and take care of the nervous system, to know how to shift it from sympathetic to parasympathetic, the stress response into relaxation? How many of you use adaptogenic herbs to support the strengthening of the nervous system? How many of you are aware on a daily basis of where you're moving towards, sympathetic, stress, or back into relaxation? How many of you are committed to taking care of your nervous system? These are the first basic questions. So all the time I'm talking to you and I'm with you this evening, I've had one thing after the other. And now I've got this mosquito coil putting this smoke that's giving me a nauseous feeling. So, you know, all these little things, little tiny things can easily be part of a very, I mean, I got nothing to be stressed about right now, you know? But all these little things can trigger a nervous system that is already And so many of us are now, with all that's going on in the world, a nervous system that is already fragile, right? And our nervous systems are not just stressed by what's going on in our life, in our time now, in this 2023, but all that we've inherited in the human collective nervous system is wired into that. And then the environment in which we've grown up in which our personal individual nervous system has built, that environment, it's all in there. So the nervous system has been trained from when we were coming into these bodies, just by the environment. God, that's making me heave. It's natural. It's a natural one, but still. Yeah, so our nervous system, you know, it's like it's been trained since we were very small. When we started to take in the environment around us and find a way to be in that. And nobody told us how to, you know, the moment that we were in stress, we found coping mechanisms intelligently. Nobody taught us how to deal with I love that sound. That's a male gecko letting the females know of his strength. I mean, who came up with that? You know, who came up with that? So it's this intelligence, you know, out of the intelligence of who he really truly is, he's not trying to be somebody else, you know, this gecko. A gecko, in case you don't know, is like a lizard, right? He's not trying to be somebody else or be somebody. He's just who he is. He's just his natural intelligence, right? And out of that, as he grows stronger and vital, he lets off this sound. He lets off this sound, and however many times he does it, proves his strength and his vitality, and is a call to the female. That's nature, right? Our nature knows. Our true nature knows. Our true nature is aligned to all of that intelligence. The same. But the trouble is with us, these humans, is that our nervous system was trained to adapt to a lie, to a false environment, to a conditioned existence that's based on the lie of who you're not. It's trained you to think that you are a separate entity. It's trained you into certain beliefs that keep your nervous system within that limitation, within that definition. Right? So, yes, we need to become aware of how to take care of shifting from sympathetic to parasympathetic, to soothing and strengthening. All of this is needed. If that's not already in your awareness and in your practice and in your commitment to yourself, then that needs to come in. That's practical ways, to strengthen new coping mechanisms, not the ones that the child learned. So then there's another component, right? Because for as long as we are still in the belief of who we think we are, this separate entity who is now soothing and strengthening and taking care of this nervous system, we are still coming from a place that identifies with that limitation, with that in retraining the nervous system. It's needed that we come back to our intelligence, to our true intuitive knowing of how to take care in the moment, how to train our nervous system to adapt to the moment through our presence, through not just being present, but through who we take ourselves to be in the midst of that. Because when the nervous system is activated and all of those mechanisms come into play, the panic, the fear, the defense, all of those feelings that come as a result of that, for as long as we take those feelings to be true, or we identify with any of that, we're going to be trying to get back to parasympathetic from that point, to feel better, to feel calm, because we don't like feeling stressed. So we're still within the feeling of what we like and what we don't like. We're still within the duality. We're still within the identification with the original wiring. We're just compensating, making it a bit better, up leveling it, but we haven't stepped out. And until we've stepped out, there are still beliefs that are unconscious in the nervous, that are wired into the nervous system. And it starts with that deep belief in me. I'm separate from the rest of this existence. That deep belief is still there. And it's dysfunctional. Dysfunction is that which doesn't work. So it can work, it can live a life, but it cannot truly live a life as life. There's a whole different life to be lived as life. So I feel like I could keep flowing with this. I could, but I'm also aware that, we've had a long, late start, and I'd like to give some space for some interaction. So take a moment to hear what has been coming through here so far, what has been coming through. And what I can tell you is that what has been coming through is not pre-recorded is coming through out of this moment. just like the gecko. There's an intention in that gecko to tell the female, because it's natural. But it doesn't know how many he's going to do. It doesn't know. He doesn't know how far he can go. Right? And same here. As long as I come here with a set thing to say, I'm going to be working from yesterday. And yesterday's gone. The nervous system is wired to yesterday. And yesterday's gone. Oh, now it's good. Now it's so good. The thing is not making me feel sick. I surrendered to the phone. It's all good. So welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'm going to turn this. Yeah, if anybody would like to. Is there anybody left on the call?
Okay, we've got 2 hands raised. Probably pronounced the first one wrong. It's Calliope.
Okay. Calliope from Crete.
Yes. Hello.
Hang on. I need to get. Wait. Dun, dun, dun. I just need to. Yeah. Okay. What do you say?
So, sorry, I have no camera because my internet is not so good. Yeah.
Okay, so I cannot even see your beautiful face, but I can hear your voice.
Next time I will have the camera.
Okay.
So today you were so much into the point for me, because I was thinking the whole day how much I try to find ways to soothe my nervous system. I discovered the vagus nerve and everything, and I'm trying, not very successfully, actually, because I have PTSD and I don't find a very good way to really soothe myself. I am in stress and anxiety 24/7.
24/7? 24/7?
24/7, except maybe sometimes that I sleep well, but I don't sleep well every night. Because I'm in a stressful situation right now, and I try to make changes that change for me is a trigger. The situation is a trigger. The change I want to make is a trigger. So yes, almost 24/7. But I noticed that trying to soothe my nervous system, and I don't manage, because I'm also afraid to let go of the stress, because I don't know, somehow I think it serves me. And even though I have the chance to let go many times during the day, I don't. I'm very attached to being in anxiety and stress and alert.
Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. Thank you. This addiction to the adrenaline of stress is something to acknowledge. And, there are a lot of people who, because it's adrenaline, and there are a lot of people addicted to stress, right? So that's one thing. Thank you for your honesty. And so continue. There's so many angles I could come in here, but I'm aware of the short time we have. So I just, do you have a question?
If I don't know if there is a way to feel safe to detach from the stress.
So first of all, you say that you have PTSD. So post-traumatic stress disorder,
Yeah.
that the trauma that comes from, have you addressed and worked with
Yeah,
that?
of course. Yes, I am in therapy many years.
Okay. Could you tell me if we've spoken before?
6 years ago.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Something is, yeah.
6 years ago.
6 years, yeah. 6
Yeah.
years with a, yeah. So you're in therapy and I'm beginning to feel really the energy of it, and the life of it. Yeah, I'll ask you a direct question. You say that you kind of, it's like you're addicted to it, you've got used to it, it's a way of life. And at some point, it may have served you, the coping mechanisms, the way of, it may have served you, but it's not serving you now. You wouldn't be on this call and you wouldn't be coming and speaking to me. What do you really want?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I really don't feel safe to let it go, but I really cannot handle it anymore because it's too much.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't know what to do.
When is too much enough for you to make a total 100% commitment to work your way through this as a vehicle to know yourself and to free yourself? When is enough? When is that commitment? What I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you to meditate on that question. I don't mean now, I mean from morning till night. Like, look at that question. When is enough? When is too much enough for you to have a real deep inner look? When is there a readiness to commit wholeheartedly to move through this as a vehicle for your liberation?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I get to this point very, very close, and then I find the strength to not cross over and repeat the whole thing again.
Yeah. And that's the survival of the one who exists within all of that. We can say the survival of ego, but I don't mean ego as a dirty word. It's the separate identity. If it can, it's like it's under threat.
Mm-hmm.
It's under threat. But you do have space outside of it. You do have space around it, or you couldn't come.
No, I do.
Yeah, you do. So it's really like expanding that space, working with expanding more and more and more the space around it to look and to see and to get honest. It's a work, In fact, I can tell you that the 3-month course we have coming up would be perfect, for you to, because you really, but that's something you have to really commit to. It's a life changer. It's something where you have to really, really commit and do the work. And when I say that, I don't mean, or I don't want to give the impression to anyone here that I'm saying do the work because there's something in you that is broken that needs to be fixed. Not at all. It is the difference between living a life that is born into the lie and goes to the end of this life within the lie, or it's living a life as an existential awareness that is ever expanding and revealing itself to itself without limitation. The body is limited, of course, but this is a never-ending birthing of the mystery through your own consciousness, you know. So it's the difference between living or dying, really. It's is everybody still there? Nope, I lost you. It looks like I lost you. No.
Yeah, I think everyone's still here.
Oh. It all went, the screen went black. I was like, oh, have I lost the connection? Yeah, so yes, thank you for your question, and thank you for bringing that that point up, is that people get addicted to the adrenaline of the stress response.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and please continue to engage in the group. I've seen that you you are engaging and talking, and I can see that you have space around that. You have awareness, and you wouldn't come to this group if there wasn't a good calling in you. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so next is Emma. I'll unmute you, Emma.
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Hello, I can, yeah. Hello.
Okay. So about nervous system, now when I'm speaking, of course, I can feel it a lot. Like I'm not used to this group and my heart is just beating. It's dropping now because it was worse before when she was on, and I was like, does this belong to me, or does it belong to her? Because that's actually going to be some of my question. Because the more that I've expanded my awareness, I see it like in two ways. I've both become more of myself, and in the way of being sensitive, like honoring that and seeing that more as a gift than something I have to repress or like push away.
The more you come to your real self, you mean?
Yeah. And I mean that I noticed that I am a much more sensitive person than I thought.
A sensitive being. The being is sensitive. Yeah.
And I think we all are, but
Yeah.
it's just it's on an intense level. And the more aware that I get, I also have this like being really empathic is a beautiful thing. Can be. It's but I also see it because I worked a lot in soothing and healing my nervous system and traumas and things, and I see it as both feeling for other people, like I can understand what you're going through, I can even feel you, but I know that I have to say now that it's not mine, it's not my business, like this is yours. And I've learned a lot of.
Why do you so okay, I'm going to come in there because okay.
No, because I'm struggling, because it's like I have enough with myself, and then feeling all of the other people's like pain in their head or in their heart, or like just all around me. So I wonder, like, is there any way to open your heart and still have
And still
firm
stay
boundaries?
closed.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can completely open and keep protected and closed?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, look, right. You kind of gave it away when you start. There's an opening of the being is sensitive. Awareness is open. Awareness is everything is in this awareness. Everything. There's nothing in my world. I cannot separate myself from anything, right? It's like it's all, even if somebody is on the other side of the planet, if they're tuning into me, I sense it, right? There is no separation in what I am. If I'm in a room with whatever, it all moves through me. It all moves through me. Now, when I hear you say, I have to say, no, this is mine, that's yours. What you're displaying to me is, okay, there's two
It's
ways
fear
that,
and defense.
sorry?
Fear and defense.
Yeah, but just hear me a minute. Just like be willing to open to what you don't yet know. And we all need to do that on a daily basis. We need to be open to what we don't yet know. You know, we're living in a time now where people are, when we first used to brought non-duality through, you know, people were, you know, all kind of, because they didn't know it. And then they were like, and then at a certain point, they got kind of confident in knowing that they are awareness and that there's only this and da. And then somehow losing it's a time when we all need to keep on opening to what we don't yet know. And I include myself in that. Okay, include myself in that, because only then can the mystery go on revealing itself. Hang on, I'm doing a balancing act here. So you're telling me two things. Stop that. Hang on. You're telling me more than two things, but what comes is that you're telling me about your human design on one level, which has conditioning in it. Like it's too much to talk about that now. I won't go in that. Okay, I'm not going in that. It's too much to go there now. But so what you're displaying is where the conditioning comes in and self-identity comes in. So I get it that for a good number of humans, when they start to feel all that's going on in everybody is too much. I get it. I really do get that. Yet that too muchness can be a movement that moves through you as awareness without any identification with the too muchness. Too much for what? So that's where you see
For the nervous system.
That's where you see the identification coming in, because it's too much for the sense of you that feels overwhelmed. There's an overwhelm that happens in the nervous system. It's overwhelm. So I know what overwhelm feels like. And my nervous system can get overwhelmed. Of course, it's limited. And then who do I take myself to be in the midst of that? So you say that you've been working with the nervous system, you've been soothing it, you've been doing all these things and and this is wonderful. Now I would invite you to go deeply into the beliefs, because it's beliefs that are put in place when we are young as coping mechanisms. And that is the level of what has worked. What has worked at some point is not needed now for where your awareness is right now. It's a retraining. It's a retraining of the coping mechanism. Your system goes into an old way of coping. That's enough. To retrain that is to come to know who you really are in the midst of this, who you really are. And by coming into your being, who you really are, and informing your system, it's okay, it's okay. Let's stay here for this. Stay here and begin to receive. You need to be receptive. Receive intuition. The intuition that will guide what is needed. It will guide what is needed in the moment. Just like this happening tonight. I'm guided and moved by the intuition. I'm guided and moved by pure presence. I'm guided and moved. Whereas it could start feeling really stressful, which was moving through my system, knowing all these people are waiting there and da 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 da. It's a retraining to the nervous system of aligning to intuition. The kicking in of the coping mechanism, which is like, okay, that's enough. That's you. This is me. It's a coping mechanism. It's a way to separate yourself, to keep yourself, like create your boundaries. We all need healthy boundaries. We all need healthy boundaries. I'm not saying we have no we're to live without boundaries. We need to know those, be clear with them. But the moment we are in this, then we're operating from the past. Due to a deeply wired in belief in me. And all of these bits have unconscious beliefs attached to them. So when I'm talking about retraining the nervous system, I'm really talking about bringing in a component of shifting from everything that the nervous system has been trained in the past to a movement out of this present moment awareness of who you are. So you can be guided by an intuitive knowing. Maybe there was too many words there. I don't know. Did you capture that?
Yeah, I captured. It's the thing is, something that I pick up on is, of course, the word boundaries, because that's been a huge thing for me. And I'm coming from a place of not having them.
Now you must have boundaries.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
must
I know.
Yeah.
I know, but that's like, so you understand, my past is more of not having the boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing that I displayed now, the none of my business, like that's something I've learned the
Yes,
last
but
year.
there is something still within that. Still, what I want to transmit here is that it's the other side of the coin. You had no boundaries. Now you're going to have boundaries, but it's the same self.
What?
You understand? You hear me?
Yeah, but what? Not the
Right.
last thing. I don't follow.
You had no boundaries. You had no boundaries, so you were overwhelmed all the time. Now you come with boundaries, but the same self is in there.
Mm.
You created the opposite, but it's the same coin. You created, get out of here. It's it turned around. Now you will create strong boundaries. Get like enough. But it's the same belief in me who is in there. It's the same self. It's the same. So what I mean, this is advanced. And I can't see people on the call. I can't see and feel the whether this is too much, you know. What I'm talking about is stepping out of what do you call it when you compensate. You compensate. You had no boundaries. Now you're full boundaries. You can't. It's a compensation. It's compensation.
It's coping.
Right. So if somebody feels all their life unworthy, if they have a deeply held belief in not being good enough, and then they come out into the world to show that they are good enough and they are prove their worthiness and prove their self-worth, it's the same. It's the same. It's still empowering the unworthiness because it's rooted in the same belief. Right? So it's the same belief behind it. So it's still empowering. This might be too much in this area. What can I do? It's coming. Yeah. What can I do? It's coming, you know. But it might be too much for this moment.
I can bring us back to the nervous system.
But I'm talking about rewiring, and this is what I'm talking about: retraining the nervous system to step out and really investigate the deeply held belief in there. Because you can still create boundaries without that compensation of a false identity. I am super sensitive. I feel everything, like I said, even across countries, you know, but I can't live with anyone. I feel everything. It's so, you know, and my nervous system triggered by that all the time, and I have to create boundaries. It's really, really looking where I'm coming from in that. Where am I coming from? Where are you coming from in yourself? And that's only something that you can look in your own experience. Where are you coming from? And what you're empowering. That's what's coming to me right now in response. So I think, did you come with a question?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit embedded in this, but my question is, how can I keep like the softness and have firm boundaries? Because I want to drop into my true self, but I feel like I don't know how to be soft and open and have boundaries.
And that is exactly the answer, is find out where you're coming from. Find out where you're coming from in every moment.
Okay.
Find out where you're coming from, find out where you're coming from. Are you moving out of an unconscious belief? You know, because look, I'm not soft and open all the time. I'm everything and anything. I'm not protected from feeling all these things. I feel it all. You know, it's like you want to put conditions, but deeply under that, there's a belief. And we all have unconscious beliefs, or we're all in our nervous system is wired with beliefs that came from the environment, that came through our ancestral line, deep beliefs, and the deep belief in human consciousness, the deep belief in me. The root of all beliefs is the belief in me. And then many unconscious beliefs on top of that. And to really bring more and more of this into our awareness really opens the possibility to move differently, to be open to anything, because anything and everything is possible. Do you believe that?
I want to say yes, but honestly, I'm saying no because I'm so conditioned.
That's beautiful. You have just revealed that belief.
Yeah.
You don't believe that everything and everything is possible. That belief.
Yeah.
And as long as you believe that, that will be your experience. So you can question that, look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'd like to ask everybody, how many of you saw something in that? But I can't see you raise your hands, you know, which is a bit frustrating. Well, I'm not frustrated. That's just like a habitual way to speak. I don't feel any frustration at all, but it'd be nice to see you all. Oh my God, I just did that with my finger and I can see you all. I can't see you all. I can see like 2, 4, 6, 8, and I'm one of them. I just did that with my finger. I didn't know how to do that. Okay. One more. We can take one more. If it's okay for you for time, Chris.
Yeah. Okay. Prem, I'm going to unmute you.
Hello, lovely.
Hello, Ananta. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So beautiful to be with you.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you for everything so far. The energy in the movement has been profound. It feels like you're communicating so much, even not just through words. But the words have also been beautiful too.
It feels like that to me also, and especially it feels like that because I'm not doing, it's just coming through. And it's the same with the majesty of all this incredibly profound universe we're birthed by and into.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, happening.
I never thought of it like that. We birthed by it and into it. Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So there was a question arising. I didn't expect it to arise, but yet it did through the meeting. And it may be that there isn't time really to go into it, but shall I just share it anyway?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like I just started to become aware that there is so much rejection in this system.
Rejection.
So much rejection of who I am or who I appear to be, maybe. And then there was a lot of awareness of the pain of that, of you know, how all these spiritual platitudes about just be with it and just you don't need to do anything and everything's fine, everything's lovely, everything's wonderful. But there's all this pain about, you know, but I'm not okay. I'm just not okay. I'm not allowed to feel these feelings. I'm not allowed to be this person, you know, this person. So that was my question. It was just like suddenly I became so aware of this huge amount of rejection, and I can't just go, oh, I don't have to reject that. That's no problem. It's like there's a thing of like, obviously, if I'm rejecting, then I'm not going to be able to be at peace. But at the same time,
Do you mean that the rejection of the person that shows up as you?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Not so much.
Yeah, I mean, what are you believing about that?
That I've got to be, you know, blissful. I've got to be peaceful. I've got to be all of those things. I mustn't be afraid.
Yeah. So this is the spiritual identity who's rejecting that. It's another identity. It's not, you're the one who sees it. You're the one who's coming on here and naming it and shining the light on it. And you're naming the spiritual identity. And especially now, you know, like you so beautifully said, because so many have now learned all the words, you know, just surrender, you just need to trust, the universe will take care, blah, blah, blah. So many have learned the words that they can even convince themselves of this. It's a new conditioned thinking process and a spiritual identity in there.
Yeah.
And it's that spiritual identity we can call, I think Gangaji called it superego, who is rejecting the parts of you that can't live up to those expectations. Yeah. So that's beautiful. It's not, there's nothing to do. There's only to see the suchness of that, of how the self then creates a higher self, a spiritual self, who now has reformed a new identity, and he's standing on the gate like a guard saying, this is okay, not this. It's a spiritual guard, like a police, spiritual police. Have you seen the spiritual police on Facebook? They show up, right?
Oh, right. I get what you mean now. Yes, definitely.
The spiritual police, they show up they come to arrest anybody who didn't say it quite right. Yeah. So yeah, this is like the next stage of the ego in the process of the homecoming. It's the next stage of the ego reforming itself as the awakened self, right? And this awakened self knows how you should and shouldn't be, you know. And so you can see that, and you go, ha, ha, ha. Can you say with me right now? Ha, ha,
Ha, ha, ha.
you're right. You don't fool me. I'm not who you are. You're not who I am. You're not who I am. That's the one who's got these expectations, this rejection of the, it's the other side. That's what I'm talking about. It's the other side of the same self.
Hallelujah.
Right? And it reforms itself in all shapes and sizes. And it's only as awareness that we can see through this.
Amazing.
What a beautiful question. Yeah, what a beautiful thing. And you're looking really lovely as well, with this lovely blonde stuff and green, and these lovely plates behind.
Love you.
Yeah, love you too. I trust we will meet again. Thank you. Ah. So, let's just take a moment. It's like magic, all of this going on by itself. And to live in this, to live in the flow of what I'm calling magic, outside of the conditioned mind, outside of separate identity, to live in this flow is a different life. It's a life truly lived. And so many humans, they're born into the lie and they go right to the end of the life. And so I trust, I hope that some of this has been of value. Of course, there is a going much deeper into all these corners, which is what the upcoming events are. This 3 weeks is like a little taste of a good meal, and we offer this 3-week series. We have the last one next Saturday, and then we'll be offering some more committed events. And I say that these are not just another event, just another link, sign up for, blah, blah. No, it's what you bring to it. When you bring commitment, then it's life-changing, because you already commit to something that's life-changing. It's life-changing. And I give my life. I give my life to continued life-changing, transformational living. I thank you all for your presence. It's so, so, so the best gift you have. And yeah, if we have a one-day event happening on the 25th, before a 3-month intensive. But I'm going to hand this over to Chris now. And I hope to meet you all next week. And the connection will just be ease and flow. I hand it over to you, Chris.
Okay, thank you, Ananta. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, beloved.
So, yeah, like Ananta says, we're meeting again next week for the final session of this series. It'll be the same time, 12 o'clock UK time. I'm just going to give you a few practical details about the events that we've got coming up. So the 3-month container starts on the 2nd of April. And it'll be running every Sunday. The first 4 weeks will be at this time again, as Ananta's in Thailand. And then when she comes back to Europe at the start of May, it'll move later. So if some of you are in the USA or that area of the world, then you'll be able to attend more easily. It won't be early in the morning for you. So with the 3-month intensive, if you book by the 18th of March now, so midnight after next week's session, then you'll get the £100 discount, the £100 coupon discount, and you use the code Awakening100 in order to get that discount. So I'll send you an email with all of this information tomorrow, so you don't have to remember everything. And if you sign up by this Tuesday the 14th of March, you'll also get Ananta's 8-week course, Realizing the Love Affair with Life, for free as part of the 3-month intensive. So this is a tantric kind of journey into into intimacy of being. It's a really beautiful 8-week course. And I'll also send you some more information about that. So it's a really amazing bonus you get. It's a full 8-week course. It's a self-study course that you'll get along with the 3-month program. And the full day intensive is on the 25th. So it's the Saturday after the final session of this one. And it's called Staying Conscious and Free in the Midst of Dysfunction. And one final thing to say, we still have the little competition going. So we've got the Facebook group. Most of you are probably in that group. And Ananta's going to choose somebody who is engaging in the group the most. So if you want the chance to win a free ticket for the 3-month intensive, then jump on the Facebook group and share your heart with people in there and engage in that group. And we'll be announcing that next week, next Saturday, who the winner of that free ticket is. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. If anyone has any practical questions, you're welcome to ask me any questions about the upcoming events. Okay, thank you so much.
Hi, Chris.
Hey, Prem, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good to see you.
It's been really beautiful.
Yeah.
I just had a really quick question just about the timing. If you're going to put the timing in the email, then I don't need to even ask the question, because if I have a regular commitment on a Sunday evening to satsang. So just knowing the timing before booking the course would be really helpful.
Okay, yeah, I think it's going to be around 4 or 5. We haven't fully confirmed that yet, but it'll be around 4 or 5 o'clock, something like that.
On a Saturday or a Sunday?
On a Sunday. The first 4 weeks will be midday again, and then from the start of May, it'll be a little bit later on because we want people in the US to be able to not have to get up at 6 a.m. or whatever it is.
Yeah, this is always the thing, that almost everything I want to do always clashes with the satsang commitment that I have on a Sunday.
Well, what time is your satsang? Because we haven't arranged the time, so we could bear that in mind if you did want to join.
It's 6 p.m. on a UK time on a Sunday.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll let you know in the emails.
Okay, lovely. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, does anyone else have any practical questions about the course or anything at all? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Nice to see you all. See you next weekend. Take care.